Next one's from the Bloody Rash. Bloody Rash is asking, with the splittening occurring, are there any specific areas where we should see significant performance improvements, or is there more overall improvement where everything is about the same? So yeah, it's definitely gonna depend. Like, some areas are gonna see more improvement than others. I think like overall, like on, you know, everything, like pretty much like everything, almost everything's gonna see some performance improvement when it comes to the CPU processing. What you're probably not gonna see improvement is any, you know, sort of graphical tasks. So like, for example, if you have a world and, you know, it has tons of geometry, you know, or you're rendering, I don't know, like 50 million polygon, like, you know, 3D model, it's not gonna help with that because that's, you know, largely on the GPU. But if it like has to do with CPU, specifically, you know, CPU processing with any parts of the Froox engine, overall there should be like noticeable uplift. But even there, like, you know, some things are gonna have more improvement than others. One of the things that we noticed the most improvement is stuff like, you know, the Beppu physics. So like anything has to do with the physics engine, stuff like the particle system. Like when we, like Cyro here and some benchmarks with the particle system, and he found like the particle system, literally the simulation is 10 times faster with .NET 9 versus Mono. So like, you know, some things, like especially when it's very math heavy and it's very parallelized, that actually gets a pretty significant boost. But overall there should be like boost to everything. It's gonna depend on the specific tasks. There's also like other ones, like for example startup is faster already even with debug mode, and one of the reasons is with normal startup there's sort of like reflection, where like, you know, the code is sort of like analyzing itself and its own kind of structure and classes. And there's also a bunch of other things, like for example, like, you know, what was I gonna say? I kind of lost my train of thought. Yeah, I kind of lost my train of thought. Oh, I remember. Yeah, so like, you know, there's like reflection, and when the, like when you use like the inspector, that's using reflection, like, you know, a bunch of stuff. When you're using like protoflex, that uses some reflection, and sometimes you get hitches and freezes. And one of the reasons we found the reflection, for some reason in Mono, is very slow, and it gets slower the more it's used, but with .NET 9 is way faster. And one of the biggest cases where it happens is like, you know, when the startup happens and like the sort of analysis, the compatibility analysis, it has not been generated yet, because on the normal builds we generate it for you and like then it's cached, so it doesn't have to do it. But whenever the build has to do it with Unity's Mono, it takes about 40 seconds to do it. And then if you run it with .NET 9, that same code doing the same analysis, it completes in like 2 seconds. So there's like some things that have like, you know, huge like improvement, but the overall improvement, like, that's gonna depend a lot on the scenario. So there's gonna be overall boost. Some things are gonna be way faster, some are gonna be a little bit less faster, but I think there's overall things should just feel a lot better.